Aaron and Davante have figured out basically throughout their career together. So is this Jets team on the road to a Lombardi? Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, the quarterback for the New York Jets, 4-time NFL MVP, Super Bowl champion, and a man who will obviously be a first ballot Hall of Famer, Aaron Rodgers. Holy shit. That's a good shot. Is that 8K? Holy.
Yeah, what is that?
Wow. Is it clear today? Is it not clear?
Crystal clear. And it even got a little portrait effect behind you. Mm-hmm. Wow, you look good. Hey, good day over. Lost to the Bills, obviously. AFC East rival, Buffalo Bills, prime time. We heard you talk about it. We will certainly dive into that game a little bit more throughout this conversation. But Davante Adams is a New York Jet. So from your standpoint, when did you find out about it? And how pumped are you to be back on the same team as Davante Adams?
Yeah, obviously I'm really excited. Love Tay. He's a phenomenal player and a dear friend. It was a crappy day yesterday. Obviously, we had real good chance to get to 3-3 and win a home game. Kind of gave that one away. I was pissed driving home through traffic. Had a couple messages. I was just not in the mood to talk to anybody. Got home and Tay had called me and texted me, and so I finally called him back. And so about 12:30, 12:45 last night, I heard the news.
Okay, so as soon as you hear the news, what's that? Well!
Here he is.
Hey, good to see you, Tay. Good to see you, man. Congrats.
What's up, fellas? Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
No problem. How was the flight over there? Did you fly over last night? And Aaron wasn't returning any of your text messages? What's that all about? You think about saying, get me the hell out of here anytime that?
Yeah, he was having second thoughts. He's been known to have both times when it comes to pulling the trigger with me. But hopefully we can put that behind us now. And we're back, man. We're back.
Okay, so obviously whenever the conversation about you getting traded is becoming the focal point of NFL conversations, Tay, a lot of people immediately placed you with the Jets because of your relationship with Aaron and the offense and understanding it. For you, first of all, how's the hamstring? And then second of all, is there any newness to the offense that they're running right now, or are you going to be able to kind of pick up pretty seamlessly with Aaron?
Well, first off, thank you for asking about the injury, and I'm feeling great, man. Feeling great. Getting, I was working with the staff over in Vegas the whole time, and they got me back right. So, fortunately, I'll be able to roll. And I'm sure there's a few new, little nuances, but for the most part, a lot of the same verbiage. Still the same OG right here, so should be able to pick up where we left off. That's the idea.
Are you living in his house? I heard it's big. Yeah, I didn't TMZ. I didn't see the TMZ of it, but I heard he's got a mansion over there. You thinking about taking over a wing?
Yeah, I'm buying the C wing.
Okay, smart. That is a very smart idea. What's you bringing in a Taco Bell? It's a good question, D-Bud.
Need to know that.
No, we don't travel. I got 2 in my Vegas crib, so we'll just keep those over there and start a new deal here.
Love the commercials.
Thank you.
Hey, Tay, congrats, man. We appreciate the hell out of you, dude.
Thank you, brother.
Enjoy it, man. Hey, thank you for that. I'm happy to see you two just pick right back up, Aaron.
That's awesome.
That was a cool thing.
That was a nice little wide, and we got AJ out of that shot. That was awesome.
Yeah, we're trying to figure it out. Obviously, this show's super planned, so everybody knows that's going to happen. That was a nice little treat right there. Talk to you. Old buddies, obviously old friends. You talked at the golf thing during the American Century Championship, and there was a quote of you saying, we're playing again. You were talking about golf, obviously. But you two have remained very tight, right? Through the entirety of him going to Vegas, you coming here to New York. So this is literally a great day for friendship-wise and family-wise as well for you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Tay is one of my closest friends in the league. I mean, I've been fortunate in 20 years to meet a lot of lifetime friends and guys I played with that I still keep in touch with. And Tay's right at the top of the list of guys that I really care about that are family to me. And so to be able to have him back is really special. Obviously, it's bittersweet because of what happened last night, but it's exciting. Tay and I have done a lot of great things over the years. He's made me look good a lot of times. So I'm really excited about it. I think it's exciting for our team. We definitely got better today. Big thanks to Joe making it happen, Woody, Chris pulling the trigger. That's obviously everybody was pissed about last night, but we know there's a lot of season left, and now it's go time.
Go ahead, AJ.
How did everything work last night with Coach Brick obviously taking over his first time as the interim head coach? It looked like there was a bunch of I don't know, Pat, I know if you watch a bunch of camaraderie on the sidelines, coaches jacked with other coaches, chest bumping, high-fiving all over the place. What was the vibe like, and what's it going to be going forward?
Well, it was obviously a strange week with everything that happened and the timing and early in the season, but I will say I thought the coach handled it really, really well. Team meetings, practice, words here and there, pregame stuff, halftime stuff. I thought he did a phenomenal job of keeping guys focused and bringing his own little flavor to it. So we love Brick. He's a fantastic guy, and we'll stand behind him. And man, people are calling me right now. I'm in a different office, but
it's okay. A lot of people are happy for you.
They're calling Eric here, but
shout out, Eric.
But no, I give Brick a lot of credit for how he handled everything. A tough situation. Obviously, we all love Robert. Robert, stood by him, brought him in. So it's not the ideal situation to step into, but I thought he handled it really well.
Yeah, I wonder how Coach Saleh feels this morning now that you got a Mount Rushmore wide receiver in that room, in that building, after a week afterwards. Excited for that. Hey, Hembo sent me over some stats. Okay, and I know last night there was a lot of things that went wrong. We'll certainly talk about it at the end of the game and everything, yada, yada, yada. Here's some stats with you and Davante Adams. From 2017 to 2021, you guys were the number one duo in the NFL with 52 touchdowns. In second place was Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill at 41, and then Kirk Cousins, Adam Thielen at 39. Right now, against man-to-man coverage, this is the worst season you've had against man-to-man coverage, stats-wise. Across his last two seasons in Green Bay, Davante Adams led the NFL with 141 receptions and 1,800 yards versus man coverage. And then there's some red zone stats about what you and Davante have done in the red zone and how many touchdowns he's had. And number one in the league, you two together in the red zone, versus this year, you guys are middle of the pack at red zone, I think, at 18. Is it as easy as adding Davante Adams to your offense to make that thing take it to another level, hit another gear? Or is that kind of a dumb way to view this acquisition?
It's a dumb way to view the acquisition.
Come on.
Oh,
well, you just drop them in there. We got red zone touchdowns.
You only gave me two options.
Okay.
You only gave me two
well,
options.
I understand you got to do what you got to do. I left you no other choice. But is it as easy as dropping it? Greeny was dancing in here. Greeny came on the show, was dancing. I think a lot of Jets fans were like, here we go. This is literally the piece that kind of puts us over the top, both offensively, and that's going to reignite the defense and everything. Is it as easy as that, or is there still a lot of work to potentially get Davante up to the speed for the New York Jets offense?
Well, listen, he infuses a lot of energy into the team right away. He's a proven star player. He's an asset. He's an incredible locker room presence. I think it's really going to help Garrett out. I think when you're able to be around a guy who's done it at a high level for a long time and see how he goes about his process, there's through osmosis going to be a lot of things he'll be able to pick up. And I think Garrett the last 2 weeks has played really good. I think it was his best game last night. Look at the stats. We had two 100-yard receivers. We had a 100-yard back. We played, better on offense in certain spots. We just were terrible in the red zone and missed some easy opportunities. Had a couple touchdown opportunities. Obviously, we missed a couple kicks, but that should have been a 30-plus point game for us on offense. And we're sitting here at 3-3 and feeling even better about ourselves than we are right now with bringing Davante to the mix. But I thought Allen and Garrett had phenomenal games, and obviously Breece did a ton in the pass game and the run game. And for the most part, up front, we did a really nice job. This just, now with so many teams, especially the first 4 or 5 weeks, Garrett was facing doubles on normal down distance so often. Now you're going to have to choose if you have, star coverage you want to run. Who's that guy going to go with, and then what are they going to do on the other side? And are they going to just cloud both sides? And they got a light box. Now we proved last night, we can run the football a little more effectively than we had the first 5 weeks. So it's definitely adding a lot to our team. But I think energetically, with the change that we had, that was kind of can be disjointing for energetics in the team, for guys wondering what does this mean. Then the way Brick handled everything, was just class and good leadership. And now this move lets everybody know, hey, it's on us now because we're going all in, and it's our time to go out there and win games, get on a run, which we all feel deep down is going to happen.
Yeah, and if we look at your schedule going forward, it seems like, okay, here we go. We got a time. Every team is an NFL team, so obviously there's no easy win. But at the beginning of the season, felt like it was quite a lineup. Now, can you go on a run? Colts on Sunday Night Football. I mean, brother, you know what's coming to town. And then, obviously, every game's its own thing. But if you guys go on a run, this will be absolutely historic. You talk about the energeticness of the team and how Coach Brick has kind of handled everything. You apparently spoke your frustrations about Mike Williams last night, and obviously the internet and the reaction to that is different. It's like, okay, let's learn a little bit about football. That was probably what's about to happen, but also, why'd Aaron say that about one of his wide receivers? Whenever you do say something like that in a press conference, why? And also, how do you think, you go forward with Mike from this point?
I think if you watch my press conferences, I started with myself when I've made mistakes. I got to play better. I can't make that throw. I can't make that decision. That's the standard for everybody. So there were a lot of mistakes throughout the night. But if you're looking at just that play, that's what the question was. What happened on that play? Well, it was 2 verticals to the right side, and Mike needed to get width to the red line, which would have been a big gain. So I wasn't calling Mike out for anything other than his responsibility and the details on that play. I have a lot of love and respect for Mike. He does some nice things for us. On that play, he wasn't in the right spot. You can make more of that if you want to, but we all should be held to a standard. I hold myself to a standard of greatness, and when it hasn't been there, which it hasn't been at certain times, I've stood up there and said, I got to play better. I wasn't very good tonight. And I think hopefully that's an example for everybody else to start with themselves. But that question was about what happened on the last play. I said what happened on the last play.
No, you got to give a canned answer, though. We need a canned answer. Mm-hmm. Don't give actual answers. We want actual answers, and then when we get them, we don't want them. Okay, it's a never-ending cycle. If you didn't do it right, you can't say the right things. But I assume with the ownership that you have taken, which some people say, I don't want to hear it. Remember that was last week.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to listen to him talk. I want to hear him take accountability. Well, if you listen to him talk, he takes accountability. Seemingly, you're never going to get right in some people's eyes, but that's neither here nor there. You're an old school guy. We appreciate the shit out of that, you hippie. Speaking of old school guy, Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Aaron, first and foremost, I was saying earlier, I'm ecstatic to see you and Davante play again. You're going to bring a lot of nostalgia and a lot of good memories back to me. But the last couple weeks, you've taken some big hits back there. How does your body feel overall? Is there anything with like your ankle that or anything like that? Is there any concerns there? Because we've seen obviously you grimace a couple times, but you've taken a couple big shots the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's kind of part of it at this point. You're not going to be 100% till the off season, but it's a process to get back to feeling decent by Sunday. Robert and Brick both been good about my practice schedule. If I need to be limited in any way, that's great early in the week. But I love the practice. So the last couple weeks I've been more limited on Wednesday, and then full participant I believe the rest of the week. So I'm sure that's going to continue. Having a Monday night game tomorrow is going to be a little bit lighter probably of a practice or a walkthrough. So I'll be able to take all those. But a few big shots here and there. I think it's kind of part of it. I don't run quite as well as I used to, and some of those shots hurt a little bit more at 40 than it did at 25. But I'm gonna strap it up every week and get out there.
How's the knee and ankle?
Yeah, they made it through pretty good. There was a scary situation in London getting rolled up on like that, but thanks to Dave and his staff here and our training staff for getting me ready, and I felt like I held up pretty good. I was a little banged up from time to time, but I felt pretty good.
Okay, that's good news. Got to buy in a few weeks.
Not that few. It's a ways off still.
A full few. Yeah. It's a full
handful.
Yeah, it is.
It's a handful.
Yeah, I think a few is like 2 to 3 usually. Maybe 3 to 4. What, a couple is 2 to 3?
Yeah, I think a couple, and then a handful is like
we're
5
weeks out. Yeah, we're 6. Yeah, 6 till the bye. So.
You got a wall.
Yeah, ways to go. Yeah, but in the grand scheme,
in the grand scheme, BC. Yeah, got it.
Yeah, of life in general.
You just time as a whole.
Yeah,
that's not that long.
Because we're in year 2024.
Exactly.
So over 2000.
Are we though?
It's time to
Oh, no.
It's time to
Also-
real.
Oh, no.
It's also a flat
You're
circle.
40 of you.
And are we in third? What dimension? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a whole nother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are they all coming from, too? I don't know.
What
What
is
about
time?
the Mayan calendar? Come on, what are we doing?
That's a good question.
We
I mean,
respect
what
it.
about it?
That
Yeah.
one
respect it.
reset.
Well, what about, not getting into it, why are these dogs turning into humans on the.
Yeah. What is that, Aaron? What's going on? Aaron?
It's a good question.
I didn't post it, but I'm just telling you, somebody that,
Sent-
TMZ wouldn't lie to us.
No.
Sent to Earth to help.
Yeah, what's the deal? What's
So
the
we've
mention?
been told.
Yeah, we'll see. It's a wild time, Aaron. Davante's a New York Jet. Now,
Great
let's
time
get.
to be alive. Great time to be alive.
Not everyone's saying that.
It is great.
What?
What?
Why not? Why not?
Just not everyone's saying that.
It is. It's a great day to be alive. Especially if you're a Jet fan. Now, let's talk about the offense a little bit. D-Bud has a question for you.
Some big changes with the Jets offense. Hackett now up in the booth, Todd Dahn and calling things. You mentioned it earlier, like you guys look better. Breece Hall, he was making explosive plays all night. Allen and Garrett. Was there anything specific that changed throughout the week, preparation-wise, practice-wise, and if so, what was it?
Well, I think that when you make a big change like this at the top, the spotlight gets put on the players, and I think the messaging this last week was that we got to go out and play better, and the attention to detail needs to be there. Now, it wasn't there completely because obviously we had multiple plays where one guy, sometimes me, sometimes somebody else, just didn't do their job completely and took some points off the board for sure from us, but. I felt like the energy was a little bit better, focus was a little bit better. And, we did a couple different things, but it was more, we wanted to be aggressive in the action game. Felt like we had some good plays in the play action game. We got the ball in space to Breece, and he's dangerous in space. We got Garrett involved early. We hit him on a crosser for 24 to start the first drive off. That was important. We hit him on a keeper action to the left where he was running the low cross, which was another big gainer. So I liked what we were doing. I thought Todd did a nice job of rolling the calls off the play sheet, and then we just made here's the early one to G. Catch and run, get him in space there, make a guy miss. I mean, he's crazy legs like that. Like, just to be able to run that fast and move like that, that's like for slow white guys, that's like that's a dream.
Especially
right
40-year-old slow white guys.
Never be able to experience. How do you run full speed and make a side cut and just totally?
Hey, are your knees okay? Is everything okay? Your knees?
Yeah, let's see this again. I mean, how do you do this when you're running full speed? Oh, I'm going to stop on a dime and get, I don't know, 12 yards after that. And then it's just like, oh, yeah, that's what I do.
Well, and that touchdown to him was bananas by both of you. That this is filthy throw, insane catch, obviously. You two obviously are a great tandem. He's going to be opened up more now, right? You would think with Davante, we just talked about that a few times.
Oh, yeah.
So
I think that's definitely possible. What's wild to me is I didn't have the perfect view here, but I'm looking right down at it. I don't know how this isn't called a touchdown in real time. Like, what are we
The refs couldn't see much last night.
Yeah,
Aaron.
we were all wondering.
We saw
He's
him.
guessing.
You're all wondering.
I don't know. It didn't even look like a question to me.
The white pants with the white line.
Yeah, sweet uniforms.
He did jump a little bit
But
for
again-
no reason.
Yeah, I heard commentary.
What the hell are you doing, Garrett?
Again, for him, that's just like a normal play. Like, just in the back of the end zone, getting my feet down, getting a knee down. So, but I was proud of Garrett. I thought like his energy was really good all week, and he made all the plays that they need to make in the game.
Let's talk about Downing, that voice in your ear. I saw him yell, I think, after the first drive or first touchdown on the sideline. What was it like for the first time hearing him through the helmet? And what is your guys' interaction now that he is the one calling the plays?
Well, Todd's my quarterback coach first, so I've known Todd for the last couple of years. I have a ton of love and respect for him. He's a phenomenal coach. Just from a drill work standpoint of practice, I was really impressed last year with the stuff that he was working on that translates over to the game. It's so important. Sometimes those are throwaway reps, that people maybe don't care about as much, just kind of going through the motions. But it's never really the case in our quarterback drills. We're always working on something. Sometimes it has to do with the play from the previous week. Sometimes it's an expectation, or sometimes just a little tweak in the fundamentals that he wants to work on. So I love working with Todd. He's a great man. Great father, great husband, and he was great. Great in my ear. It was clear calls. I told him at the start. I said, just roll it off the call sheet. I'll make it work out there. I thought he did a good job of trusting. I mean, even on the last drive that we had, we called a run with a fly motion, and just unfortunately missed the block at the point of attack. But that would have been a 40-yard gain possibly. So I love the aggressiveness that we had, and I thought he dialed up a nice game.
Speaking of that, I have a Hembo stat about you guys in motion. Last night, I guess you guys ran, entering week 6, New York used motion on just 43% of their plays, the 5th lowest rate in the league. On Monday Night Football, the Jets ran motion on 40 of their 59 plays, including on 6 of their 8 plays that won at least 20 yards. Feels like that is a Downing a little bit of his sauce, or just the offense's sauce. That's a Hembo stat that just came through there.
I mean, there's motion in the plan. I mean, that's our offense. That's what we did all training camp. So whether we harken back to some of that stuff or we just had an extra emphasis on it, it definitely worked for us last night.
Go ahead, AJ.
What's the secret to throwing a successful Hail Mary? Obviously, you've been very successful in your career doing it, but another one last night at the end of the half. Like, I guess, yeah. Take us through this? Like, how does this continue to work for you?
Well, I mean, this was one of the lower ones I've thrown for sure. With the wind, the way that it was going, if you got the ball way up in the air, that ball's really tailing from right to left. So actually, I threw it exactly where I wanted to, but it was supposed to be between the hashes, and the ball didn't really curve a whole lot. Allen made a phenomenal play. My view was him kind of getting boxed out from the start and maybe pushed a little bit, and then he moved himself over. But they rushed 2 guys. They called timeout right before the play. We actually had something else called, and I said, let's just call the Hail Mary here. Not try and get a few more yards and get out of bounds. So they went with a 2-man rush. Obviously we picked that up. They kind of added a guy late, but I was just trying to find a place to throw from. And then we're at the 50. That's that's not a difficult throw yardage wise. I think I'm throwing it from like the
42, yeah. It's like 64 yards you throw it in the air with no crow hop or anything at the age of 40,
Well, no, I mean, there was a little, I had a little crow hop, I would say, but the higher you get it, the more difficult it is for the judging of where it's coming down. That's kind of what I've always felt. Like I said, this is one of the lower ones, the one to Janice and Richard and Cobby. Those were much higher throws, I would feel like. But you just find a spot to throw it from, and then giving your guys a chance, and you never know what can happen down there. But
how far can you throw a ball right now? If you're at the age, that's 64 right there, and you said I did have a little crow hop. Yeah, I guess you clearly stepped forward at one point. But how far could you? That's bananas to think as a 40-year-old. You need to know that.
Listen, there's just certain guys you're going to be able to throw the rest of your life. I got to see Brett. Brett could still throw it today, and guys in the league now. I mean, I feel like Joe Flacco, is one of those guys that's going to be able to throw it forever. And Matty Stafford, he's got a phenomenal arm. He'll be able to throw it when he's 70 years old. No problem. I feel the same way. I think that's something you kind of always have. But I feel like I can get it 70 out there if I need to. The arm has never really been an issue.
We saw a couple Hail Marys laying 10 yards short of the end zone this year.
Yeah.
We've already seen it. It's a fascinating time. Congrats on another one of those. Obviously better in a winning effort, but certainly electrifying going into the half. Conman has a question about something happened pregame.
Yeah, Aaron, we showed a clip in the last hour of you shaking the hand of the Whitecap last night, and there were some theories on the internet, but my main question was how often...
Officer?
Yeah, very respectful, very solid handshake, almost like a little bro hug halfway through. Does this happen most games for you, just kind of the refs and other guys coming over, paying their respects? And is this where he told you, like, hey, I'm going to get you a few today? If there's someone that lands on you, kinda, I'm going to give you 15. And how good did you feel about the sarcastic ball pull in the post-game presser? Because that was great.
Listen, I've been a fan of South Park for a long, long time. I was fortunate enough to go to the studios one time years ago and meet Trey. I've said this, I don't know if I've said this publicly before, maybe once, but with zero sarcasm, Team America World Police got me through a dark time in my life. In 2013, I broke my collarbone. I was in a dark place. I was pissed. I'd never had like a major injury like that where I got to miss time. And I watched that movie every week the first week that I was out. and it just got me through the day. Like just watching how ridiculous some of those scenes are, especially the deleted sex scene where there's some other stuff that happens. It's so incredible. But being a fan of the show, I mean, there's been a lot of great seasons, and one of the most amazing episodes, because they do some football stuff from time to time with the Broncos, was Randy Marsh and Sarcastable, where they're just walking around with a balloon, hugging each other. And I've made a joke about how the league, in some ways, is getting rid of some of the violence. And some of it's good. Some of the defensive player stuff is good. But as a throwback player, that's not a call that I want on Epinesa there. Like it wasn't an egregious sack. It wasn't like major contact. And I know I was a part of rule changes. There was kind of like the Brady rule when the guy went low on him and tore his ACL, and now the low hits. When Anthony Barr drove me to the ground in Minnesota, this rule kind of came into effect about body weight. I've been upset many times, and even last night, about non-pass interference calls. Never really been one to make a ton of excuses or call for flags for roughing the passer. Now, if there's an egregious one, guys, in the helmet, and I look over and they don't do it, I might say, hey, what'd you see there? But I don't think that one or the one on Kinlaw met the standards for roughing the passer. I respect and appreciate Adrian and the other white caps and umpires around the league trying to protect the quarterbacks. But when we go too far with any of these rules, then we're going into the realm of sarcastic-ball. Randy Marsh might be proud, but that's not really the way that I want to see it.
We ran it back.
I don't think fans want to see it.
No, nobody wants to see it. Last night there was too many flags. They put up a stat about how many penalty yards there were versus like the other Breece Hall, I think, was in there like 150, penalties at 204. It's like nobody's here, 169. Nobody's here for that. Ray Davis had a hell of a day.
Yeah, whoa.
Hell of a night for Ray Davis out of Kentucky. Obviously, congrats to him, 152. But nobody wants to see that. We ran your take back afterwards because a lot of people on the internet saying you're going to get fined for this, for obviously criticizing the officials. Whatever sarcastic ball comes out of your mouth, you could tell like in the back of your mind.
Hit it.
That was fucking,
Gotcha.
that was good. We're proud of you.
Well, thank you. I didn't really answer the question, but there's always interaction with the refs, and some of them are more friendly than others. Some of them like you. Some of them maybe don't. I don't feel like that really happens with me. I feel like I have a pretty good relationship with all the guys, but I've known Adrian for a long time when he wasn't a white cap, and so it's a respect thing. It's a lot of the same stuff. But I like, there's always a little small talk about this or that, and so we had a nice laugh. But yeah, those guys are there to protect us, and again, they're out there doing a job just like we're doing a job, and we get criticized like they get criticized. And if I felt like there was a couple, questionable calls, and I said it, that's the way it is. Like, if they're gonna find me for that, okay, fine, that's part of it. But they're held to their standard as well. And as much as, we're frustrated by some of the calls, I just think if you watch playoff football, there's not a lot of calls usually. And whether that's the crews that are making it to the playoffs are calling less flags, or an emphasis on not throwing as many flags and letting players just play. But I felt like, that there were definitely a few that were, maybe questionable. I felt like the one on the goal line, when we ran the touchdown in was, I had a view of it because I handed the ball off, faked it, and turned around. And it didn't affect the play, number one, at all. Number two, felt like they were just both going to the ground. That took 7 off the board. Not only 7, but we don't convert the third down there, then we miss a field goal, so we don't even get 3 out of it. That was a game-changing play on the 2-yard line. You don't see a lot of holdings inside the 5 in general, I would say, unless it's egregious. I just didn't feel like that met the level of being an egregious hold.
Yeah, it was crop. We think it was crop. It was crop call. Yeah, we'll say it. You just say you don't think it hits level would be egregious enough to call it in that situation, especially with the outcome of said play to kind of move forward. I did see them correct a couple things, though, with the advanced replay or fast replay or whatever it is. I think that's good. And to the officials' credit, it has not been a conversation every single Overreaction Monday that the refs blew games. Like, that's first time, long time. Usually, Overreaction Monday, I am high-horsing about how shitty these refs are and how they're ruining our good game. There's only been a few of them. Last night was certainly one of them where there's a lot of flags. Go ahead.
We lost the game. We gave the game away. I'm not saying the refs ruined the game. I'm saying there were calls that impact the game, but we lost the game. Nobody's blaming the refs for the game.
No. I'm just saying normally normal NFL season, it's a lot worse, these refs. This year's actually been pretty good. Been pretty good this year. So it's like, I think they are striving to get better. This weekend, you got a big one. I know Davante's back in uniform alongside you, but it's a big one this weekend. AP Tone has a question for you.
Hi, Aaron. My question comes in the form of a quote from the Great Wedding Crashers movie when they're playing some touch football. Are you ready for the noise to be brought on you? Are you, Aaron?
I am. There's some special places to play in the league. There's a lot of great ones. And then there's a few that are really special. And I would say Pittsburgh is one of those places. For me, it's the history of it. I grew up watching an old VHS tape of Super Bowl highlights. And, 60s was Packers. And 70s was the Steelers. 80s was the Niners. 90s was the Cowboys. And that was kind of when it stopped. It was probably, probably didn't get to the 90s, but the 70s was the Steelers. So I grew up knowing all those names. I've got to meet some of those guys over the years, the legends that played in Pittsburgh, and it's a special place. You think about the cornerstones of the NFL. Obviously, Green Bay and Chicago, with the history and how far they go back, but you can't write the history of the NFL without Pittsburgh Steelers. And they got a great fan base. They got a great home field advantage. They got one of my favorite coaches and people in the league, and Mike Tomlin, and they play that renegade in the fourth quarter. You know what's coming. It's a great place to play. It's loud. It's a tough environment. We had a great one there in 2009, where we had them on the ropes there right at the end and bent through a back shoulder ball to, I think, Mike Wallace to beat us in the last play of the game. And in 17, I was out with my collarbone. Brett Hundley played really well, and lost to him as well. So I think the third time I've been there. I've been there for a preseason game, I believe, in 2006. I threw a touchdown to old Doc Holliday
Great name.
on a corner route. You can go back and fact check me on that one. Might have been 07. I think it was 2006 though. And then I think we played in preseason there in 15 as well. But there's been some good matchups. I remember the first time in 2009 they brought middle dog pressure, and Lawrence Timmons hit me as hard as I've ever been hit in my life, right under the chin. And I was like, man, I hope it's not like this all night. But yeah, it's a great place to play. They got a great storied history there, great fan base. They're playing pretty well. Obviously, TJ is an absolute game wrecker. I mean, what he did last week, punching the ball out twice. I mean, you just don't see that. You see that from certain guys like Fred Warner. You kind of expect that. Freddie's like in his own category. He's incredible. But a D lineman who can lead the league in sacks and be in the defensive, player of the really the MVP or defensive player of the year conversation every year when he's healthy, and then he does this twice. I mean, not just there on the field, but he did on the goal line as well. Here you go. Thank you. There's my clip. I mean, that's just not normal. It's just not normal. Like, crazy. He's in the league by himself. So a lot of respect for him. I remember when he was coming out. I think Ty, you probably remember this. A lot of us Packers folks were really hoping to get get him in Green Bay. He's obviously had a Hall of Fame career there in Pittsburgh, and it's kind of like there's a few guys over the years where the plan kind of starts and ends with him, and it's no different. I mean, he sees it every week. There's sliding to him, they're chipping him, they're trying to slow him down, but he still finds ways to make plays. So it's going to be a good test for us, and look forward to it.
Yeah, I can't wait. That's a good Sunday night football match.
Good luck, Aaron. Thank you. Love you.
Well, it didn't sound like that. That wasn't what he's saying before.
Yeah,
well, I was just quoting a movie.
No, before the show you said Davante, who cares?
Yeah.
Well, I just thought it was kind of bullshit, that you get them the week that you play the Steelers. I thought it should be a week later.
Yeah, or a week earlier. This could have happened last week, maybe next week. Why does it have to happen this week? That's
Bingo.
what Steelers fans are saying?
Maybe he won't be ready yet.
Well, yeah, is that?
Oh, he looked healthy
What are the
to me.
expectations?
Yeah,
Did he pass his
might
physical?
not be ready yet. Might need to work him in.
That's smart. I think you should.
Is that right? You guys might need to work Davante Adams in. Is that an accurate way to view it if you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll see if he gets on a practice field.
You're the man. We appreciate you stopping by today. A lot of people watched today. There's over 100-some thousand concurrents on YouTube, let alone obviously with ESPN. You know, they kind of eat into each other. But massive day to hear your thoughts on Davante and the fact that you have him stop by. Very, very grateful, brother. Thank you so much.
Well, he's been here all day. I mean, I've been trying to. I was texting with Zito. I've been trying to get back home, and it says, "Oh, you got to do this and see this guy and do this." I've been assistant chaperoning him. You know,
Tour guide.
Finish my rehab, but yeah, thought it'd be fun to have him stop in. He was a little nervous though.
Has he been on the program?
No,
Tone.
that's the first time.
I think it's his first time on a program because we chatted with him at the American Century Championship, and he was like,
Yeah, AJ knows him and he loves AJ, but he didn't think he liked him. So
"Yeah, what's that all about?"
That's classic.
I think I'm
Hawk.
super
Why?
complimentary. Am I not?
right before I got on, he said, "Yeah, I don't think he likes me."
It has to be because the same conversation we had at the driving range. He goes, "When am I going to be on the show?" And I was like, "You haven't been on the show?" And I didn't know because we talk about him so much.
Yeah.
And he was like, "No, man." And I'm like, "Oh, I feel like
He was listing off about 20 names that had been on the show beforehand.
Oh no.
Skill position, guys. Yeah.
I will. Zito just said we have put in many requests for Davante Adams. Okay, good.
That's allegedly.
Oh no!
Whoa.
Let Davante know whoever the gatekeeper is, one step in front of him, he's holding him back. We don't like, and at the Jets, it's going to continue too. We fear.
Oh, jeez.
we fear with the relationship there as well. Let Davante know whenever the fuck he has a free moment. We'd love to have him on the program.
Well, maybe if he didn't rip everybody over here all the time, there'd be a little more receptivity.
It's hard, bro. This thing's wide open. What do you want from me? It's wide open. This thing, these things, they're just wide open. Sometimes things happen, and who would we be?
You haven't changed the bottom of that. Is that Zito? I'm just looking now. It says, you know, at the bottom of my name there, it still says enthusiast.
Yeah,
It doesn't say non-recreational user.
That's actually Nick in the far back. He's trying to paint an image. You know, words are spells because the way they are spelled. So the way that he spells enthusiast there instead of non-recreational user, I mean, it's certainly a message he's trying to put out there. Also, Steeler fan. Don't forget about that.
Hey, Aaron said last week enthusiast was good. He said we never put recreational user. He cleared that up. We've always had enthusiast.
Or a habitual user or daily user.
Sure.
Just every once in a while. Daily.
Hey, shout out Greenfield Avenue. You know, Big Mike.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Hey, what are you doing? So when you go to cities, are you in locked in hotel, game, and then leave?
There's locked in. There's no locked in.
No, do you
definitely leave the hotel?
You leave hotel whenever you go to city? Wherever you go?
You go to dinner?
Sometimes, yeah. Where's a good place to eat?
We'll send you a bunch of spots.
Not Primanti's.
Big Mike. There's got to be something in Greenfield Avenue.
Don't go to Primanti's, brother.
All right, okay.
Not Primanti's.
Not a lot. Not a lot.
Don't do it, brother.
Okay. All right, we'll find.
Tone's the expert, isn't he?
Yeah, I'll send you some stuff.
We'll get
Yeah.
you. We'll get you hooked up. How many? You, Davante,
Garrett.
Garrett.
Yeah, I'll call the local chef. Let him know you're coming.
Yeah, maybe not. Don't go. Maybe in Pittsburgh. That's a good call because Tone does love you, but
Let me just put a disclaimer out there. This is a David Bakhtiari thing over the years, but I heard it was used last week as well. If somebody calls a restaurant and says I'm going to be there, that does not guarantee that I'm going to be there. David was famous for he would call places on the road to get a back room and drop my name when I had no idea what they were going, where they were going, when they were going. I wasn't even going with them. But he would just drop my name. So all the restaurants over there who have spoken badly about me.
this guy no-showed on this
Tipping
end.
them.
Instead, we got a bunch of offensive linemen.
I want to set the record straight because I know Dave did this for years.
Great move by Bach.
For years.
And I will say, offensive linemen have these moves. AQ Shipley, he calls places ahead of time and acts like he's the agent for AQ Shipley.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes, we got a 10-year vet.
Super Bowl champion.
AQ Shipley looking to come through your restaurant. Wondering if he can get a spot 2, 3, 4 people. Just wondering if he's a food critic as well, also a chef. He could bring the Super Bowl ring, showcase it to the chef. Wants to meet it, he'll do that. And then they were like, yep, no problem for Mr. Shipley. Okay, Mr. Shipley also likes. And then he gets on. We've gotten into so many very, very nice restaurants. And I'm just sitting there next to him, hearing him talk about himself in a third person. And I go, what the fuck are you doing? He goes, well, I'm the agent of mine, you see. So I would be complimenting me, would I not, if I was the agent? I'm like, okay, way to be a method actor. Got us in there. Bakhtiari wasn't, he was getting a reservation everywhere that you were going. You got to respect the move.
Way to be a Miles Teller. Method actor.
Hey, he did that drum, I heard. You know that
Whiplash
scene? You know,
Drumline?
he was not in Drumline, I don't think.
What? He
Sure?
Wasn't he sure?
No, he was that one there.
I don't know. I think he could read the music. I think Miles Teller could. Two different.
His best movie though is That Awkward Moment. If you've seen it,
It's great.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
Efron.
So good.
Michael B. Jordan.
Miles is in it. I'm watching it.
It's a great rom-com. Great.
Fantastic.
Absolutely. Does he have any more? What's he up to? I know he's cheering on Phillies. Philly's out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Very quick.
What's Miles Towers doing? It's baseball season.
He's always
He's filming something. New Top Gun coming at some point.
Is that what he's doing, Aaron?
Top Gun. New Top Gun's coming. Yep.
What?
Is that breaking?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that's breaking, but
How's he feel that Glenn Powell's now the #1 man on that set?
Okay. We are getting reports from the back. He's working on 5 projects. None of them are Top Gun.
well, yeah, because Top Gun doesn't start until TC says, "Hey, it's fucking go time."
Well, and I heard he doesn't have a phone either. TC.
He does though. He
Shows
does.
up.
Yeah.
He sends a carrier pigeon.
Peters.
Got Glenn Powell's number. No big deal. Because we're going to Texas, Georgia this weekend. Ty's immediate thought is text him, ask him for TC's number.
Yep.
What are we even doing here?
Yeah.
And then we Google TC doesn't have a number. Email, website. Got to find him.
Just skydives in.
He'll find you.
Yes, he will.
Have you
TC,
seen-
we're looking.
How many people in the sports media are doing what Miles and some of these entertainers doing on the Ozempic, though?
What are you talking
That's a rumor. That's not confirmed.
Say Miles.
It seems like that was pretty direct. Miles jacked up, not eating a lot now. Is that a conversation that's happening around Miles Teller camp?
There's a lot of rampant Ozempic use, I think, going on.
Big O.
I think so too.
Not here, brother.
Cannot confirm. Can't confirm. Can't confirm.
Tone Diggs actually, he did the old school way.
Yep,
He
working
lost
hard.
65 pounds in 1 month. He did the old school way.
Diet, working hard, wearing trash bags.
That's right. Not having
Sauna.
General Tso's chicken every single morning somehow and losing weight.
Clears you out.
It's amazing.
My body doesn't agree with China.
Sounds like Miles and Tone got.
Wow.
Amen, brother.
Congrats, Tom. Congrats.
Thank you.
Hey, and that goes back to America. Fuck yeah. All right, Aaron. I'll see you later, brother.
Hey, see you guys.
Congratulations on getting an old friend back. Sucks you lost last night, though. But you guys are still in it. Very much in it. And I think that's the mindset heading forward. Good luck. Ladies and gentlemen, 4-time NFL MVP Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.